If I only had 2 hours to prepare, cook and clean up, these are the snacks that I would make. I've dedicated a lot of time to testing out snack recipes that I can make at home so that you don't have to. Now I'm ready to share what I've learned via the snack series on my channel. And this week, I'm refilling my freezer stash with 5 homemade, ultra-processed free snacks that all share a similar type of hidden ingredient. Now first I'm going to start by making a simple dough to prove whilst I make some of the other recipes. It's always really good to think about how you can plan out your time when batch cooking to make the most of the time that you have available to you. So now that dough's proving, let's make one of the sweet treats. I promise you no one will ever guess the secret ingredient in these brownies. You simply put all the ingredients into a high-speed processor and blend them till smooth, and then pour into a lined tin. In this recipe, I use black beans, and they're such a great way to boost the fibre and protein of this snack, with no one noticing thanks to the richness of the cacao powder. I'm seeing everywhere at the moment that many adults and children aren't meeting their daily fibre requirements, and so I'm always looking for ways to boost that in our diets. And sneaking beans and chickpeas into our food is a great way to do it. I've topped my brownies with some chocolate chips, but you could use a different topping if you prefer. And these will now go in the oven for about 20 minutes. Next up, I'm going to make a snack that doesn't need the oven, and these are so delicious. Chocolate-coated cookie dough bites were such a crowd pleaser in our house, but again, no one could guess the secret ingredient. And this time, I'm blending up a tin of butter beans into the cookie dough to boost the nutrients before I roll the balls and chill them in the fridge. The great thing about using beans in cooking and in baking is it's such a budget-friendly way of adding a healthy boost to recipes. And I love that I can really stock up on these ingredients and just have them in the cupboard ready to sneak into my cooking. Now these balls will need to chill for at least 1 hour in the fridge before we do the next step. We're now 1 hour in and the dough is nearly done with proving. This is such an important point to note when you're batch cooking. If you can try and fill proving times or cooking times with other activities, this helps you make the most of the time that you have available to you. So the brownies are now out of the oven and they're ready to be sliced. And once cool, I will freeze these ready to go in the lunch boxes. And I normally just take one out in the morning and let it defrost in the lunchbox as the day goes on. So now we're going to move on to a savoury lunchbox option. I've got another tin of butter beans at the ready, and I'm ready to sneak this into a pizza sauce for this lunchbox friendly snack. These pizza roll-ups are a great alternative to sandwiches and they freeze really well. And I especially like this because we kind of get bored of having the same rotation of sandwich filling, so it's good to mix it up a little bit. I'm making a simple tomato sauce base for the roll-ups, and I do this by blending up some butter beans with a bit of olive oil in a high-speed food processor until they're really smooth and form a paste. Then I've added some tomato puree and some seasoning to my taste. Butter beans are such a great thing to blend into sauces because they take out some of the moisture and they really thicken sauces. So I actually quite like putting butter beans in my pesto, for example, for the same reason. And in this recipe, they make it much easier to spread the filling onto the pizza rolls. The dough is finished proving, so it's all ready and rolled out. And now the pizza sauce has gone on, I'm topping with some olives and some cheese, but you could pick whichever toppings you prefer. These will now be rolled and placed in a muffin tin that I've lightly greased with some olive oil for one last prove for about 30 minutes until I cook them in the oven for about 25 to 30 minutes. I like to make the most of the oven when it's on, and so now I'm going to roast up a can of drained and rinsed chickpeas that I've drizzled with a little bit of olive oil ready for the next snack. This one is definitely not going to make it to the freezer as it's so Moorish. Whilst the chickpeas roast, all I'm going to do is make a stuffing-inspired seasoning using dried sage, onion, garlic and salt. And I absolutely love this snack. It's such a good thing to have mid-morning or sprinkled on salads to give it a bit of extra texture. And it also works really well with butter beans. The kids aren't so keen on those, however, so I'm going to make one extra recipe for the oven with chickpeas for them that they will like too. And these are super easy homemade donuts. They have a can of chickpeas blended up in the batter, and they're such a great way to sneak some extra nutrients into the lunchbox. So once you've blended the batter to a really smooth consistency, you just pop in a mould and you put on your favourite toppings. This time I've gone for blueberries, but you could do chocolate chips or different fruits, whatever you prefer. And once they've cooked for about 20 minutes or until they're golden, you can either leave them plain or you could drizzle them with a little bit of chocolate, or you could be super indulgent and dunk them in some chocolate. Again, whatever suits you.
I wanted to highlight some of the key ingredients that we're focusing on today. So I love buying tinned beans and chickpeas, as they're a really great way to have nutritious ingredients in the cupboard that are pretty budget friendly, and they're perfect for these sorts of recipes I'm doing today. I also love buying frozen berries, as they work so well in baking and for making jams, and they're great to have in. I also lean a lot on store cupboard staples like eggs and oats in my baking. And lastly, I really like using ingredients like chia seeds for the fibre, and also flax seeds as well, especially in cake mixes and baking where you can just sprinkle them in. If you're smart with ingredients like this, you can batch cook healthy snacks without breaking the budget too much.
The pizza rolls are out the oven and looking really delicious, so I'm going to cool these on a wire rack. The chickpeas have also come out and are ready to be tossed in their seasoning. So I'm simply pouring them in the bowl, tossing them around in the seasoning, and then I'll pop them in an airtight container. I've also just got the donuts out the oven, so I'm going to pop these on a wire rack to keep them nice and cool. Now we're ready to finish off the cookie dough balls. So I've got them back out the fridge and I've melted some dark chocolate for this. I quite like using the Lindt dark chocolate because it's ultra processed free, or Tesco Finest does a really good milk dark chocolate that's also ultra processed free. Simply dip them in, pop them on a plate to chill, and top with a little bit of flaked sea salt. They'll need about an hour in the fridge just to firm up.
We've just hit the 2-hour mark, everything is done, and hopefully this has given you some really good inspiration as to how you can get some more beans and chickpeas into your diet and fill your freezer with lots of yummy treats. The full ingredient list and recipes can be found via the link below and are all available for free.